Okay, this is how Delphi suspect Richard Allen's interview went wildly wrong with police. And I want to start with his 2017 account. This is where he voluntarily comes to law enforcement and tells them he was actually on the trail the day of the crime, February 13th, 2017. He actually tells police he was on the trail between 13:30 and 15:30, which is in that window of time where Libby and Abby were. And he says that he did see 3 juvenile females, didn't see the victims. Now, he was proactive in coming to police. And my opinion of this, and this is just an opinion, is that he knew there were witnesses who saw him. There were actually 4 witnesses who saw him in that area. And he wanted to be proactive and go to police instead and just kind of play this off as, I'm just the average citizen out there and I want to let people know I was there, but I didn't see the victims. Okay, so that's this early account. And this tip sat for years before investigators really re-looked at this information and decided to interview him a second time. So now I want to pick up with the second interview. But as I'm scrolling down here, remember, these witnesses saw somebody wearing this blue Carhartt jacket, blue jeans. They've already given a description of this individual who resembles Richard Allen. So police are definitely going to play on that. Now, when they interview Richard Allen the second time, October 13th, 2022, he again says that he sees the 3 juvenile girls. He admits to being on Monon High Bridge. So he's admitting to being at the scene of the crime. This is a voluntary statement. Okay, he's voluntarily giving this information to police. He admits that he was wearing blue jeans and a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hood, which is, again, similar description from Libby's phone. Then we learn that he tells investigators he owns firearms. Okay, so this is what's interesting. This you can see the strategy from law enforcement here. They're trapping him in with these questions, this line of questions, and this is what's interesting. So they're asking him about firearms. He says that he owns firearms and that they're at his home. They interview Richard Allen's wife. She says that there were guns and knives at the residence and that Richard owns this blue Carhartt jacket. They learned that Richard owns this black Ford Focus, which was a very similar vehicle described at being oddly parked at the Child Protective Services building. He admits to parking on the side of that building. So now they're really starting to piece this together. Furthermore, they learn that Richard Allen had a 6 Sauer 40 caliber pistol. Well, at the crime scene, the unspent 40 caliber round was found in between Libby and Abby's body. So you have this huge bombshell of evidence right here that he's admitting to owning this weapon. Here's what's interesting further about this interview. He says that no one else has used this firearm. He said he never let anyone borrow it. And he's the only one that's used it and owned it since 2001. So police, again, have trapped him into, there is no possible explanation for anyone else using this gun but him. And so they certainly, with that line of questioning, got him to admit that. A couple things. Again, the lab confirmed the individual marks on that bullet. So the random striations, the impressed marks, that evidence was really the big piece that ultimately got him arrested. Last thing here I want to point out is Richard Allen had stated that he had not been on the property where the unspent round was found. So again, no explanation as to why is this round on this property when he's saying he's never been there. So they're catching on to this deception. And he also says he doesn't know the victims. So again, he doesn't know the victims. There's no reason that these victims should be next to this bullet. There's no explanation because he was never around them. He never knew them. So again, that's just that line of questioning that further traps him in and ends up leading to this totality of evidence to arrest him. So I hope that information helps from the probable cause affidavit. I will continue to break down some more pieces of this case. Take care.